What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? It is your favorite Monday night sports talk show, and that is Dr. We E Talk Sports right here on Facebook Live. And we're also on YouTube Live. So if you want to go to my YouTube page, you can also catch us over there. We love to have you watch us however you want to watch us. And this is the Sports Talk Show that makes you smarter at the water cooler. We are going to make you smarter with your friends and family as we get this thing kicked off for this week, November 18th. It's been a wild week in sports. It has been really, really crazy going on. Hey, Doc,
Hey, can you hear me?
I cannot hear you, but we need somebody to let us know because it could be something on my end. Let me check my speakers. Um, with regards to that, it's going to be hard to. Okay, my microphone's working. Let's see. Check, check,
Let's see my
check.
audio.
You can hear me, so that is a good
I can
sign
hear you. Yes.
that everything's working. Let me see if I can go. Keep talking for me. Doc.
Let me try. This better? Nope. What about?
Yeah, there we go. All right, well, I got you done. All right, 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 I got you done.
Okay, let's test it out. Maybe we can get it out here.
Okay, that can be good.
All right. We good now?
Yes,
Maybe.
and now back to the situation where I can't hear you. I did I did the switch to something and it was like super echo and now even with the echo cancel. So all right. Let's try something here. Okay, can you still hear me? Okay. Now try here. Um that was all right, try talking to me now. All right, no, I can't hear that. Let's try this. All right, talk to me again. Oh, okay, hold on. I know what it was. Let me get out of that. I gotta mute one of these because it's so like I'm in the studio twice for some reason. I don't know why I'm in the studio twice. And so what's happening is you got the echo because it's showing up as two people in the studio. So I had to mute one of them and let's see if we can get that to work while we switch our audio. So thank you all for joining us. We're just experiencing some technical situations that we're going through right now. So our apologies for the technical situation, but I think 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 technical.
Mm-mm. Tomorrow. So, can you hear me? Ellis. Hello. I don't see you anymore. I don't see you anymore. Or hear you if you're talking. You're on mute.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
That's better. Yeah.
All right. So
You
that's
can
the
hear
one.
me? You can hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. That was weird. I had to reboot my computer because my camera wasn't working at first, which it does that sometimes.
No. I was like, it's tripping because because like I could see everybody backstage, but I see myself twice, and so the
Yeah,
one,
I see you twice too on the people.
yeah. So the version that I had on stage apparently was picking up twice. That's where the echo was
The
coming from.
echo.
So I switched the person that's on camera, and now I don't have any issues. So
Okay,
I
okay.
don't know what
Be
that is.
cool.
All right, so we're here. All right, so um, welcome to the. Now that we've got all the technical difficulties worked out of the way, welcome to your favorite Monday night talk show, sports talk show. It's Dr. Weenie's Talk Sports. Of course, I am one of your hosts, Elistine, and of course, I'm not Dr. Wee. And so a lot has transpired in the NFL season. And so teams, the better teams, and we said around this time of year, the bad teams are figuring out they're bad. The better teams are
If
now.
they didn't know.
Remember, they were playing hard at the beginning of the season, though.
Well,
They didn't realize they were
like
bad.
Jacksonville, like yesterday, that was just a travesty.
They realized that they were bad, right? And they got boat raced by a good team. Somebody got to get fired for that kind of. You don't lose 50. What was it, 52-6 or something
I
crazy?
know that's just ridiculous. I'm like, they should just stop. They probably were doing trick plays at the end. I didn't see this game, but
Yeah, that was embarrassing. And as somebody that grew up in Jacksonville, um, that was embarrassing. And there's got to be some fallout in a significant way. I understand how good Detroit is, and Detroit is one of the 4 or 5 teams that could actually win a Super Bowl this year.
yeah,
Um,
one.
assuming everything stays the way it is right now.
Yeah, even with their injuries, actually somebody got injured yesterday too on the Detroit.
Yeah, but as long as golf is there, I mean they've got so many good players on that team, and as long as the quarterback is still there,
Yeah,
still healthy, then
yeah,
they'll have a shot.
and then
It would take multiple injuries at key positions, like
to knock them out, like quarterback and wide receivers, the main
yes,
ones.
like Amon-Ra St. Brown would have to go down, plus the tight end, plus the running
back.
Because they've got 2 good running backs, right? They've got a hammer the inside, and they got the speed on the outside. They've got a great tight end. They've got 2 good receivers. They got a deep threat. They got their slot guy. They've got the best offensive line in the NFL. Like they're hitting on all cylinders on the offensive side of the ball. The only way you can get, I feel that you can get Detroit is if you could score with them. right? And so like a
Good point.
team,
And if you can
uh,
get to Jared Goff, because if you get to him a lot, he kind of
yes, yes. So Jared Goff is the guy because that offensive line is so good. He's playing very comfortably right now, and the offensive line is the best that I've seen this whole season because not only can they run block because the running backs are eating, but Jared Goff doesn't have to pass as much. He's only throwing 18 times a game, even in when and I'm not even counting yesterday. Yesterday, Jacksonville gave up after the first quarter.
yeah,
It was over with. But I'm talking about even in the other games that were more competitive than yesterday,
like when we played them.
they can still run and pass. And so he doesn't have to throw the ball 30 times a game. I think he's averaging maybe 24, 20, 20 to 24 passes a game, which is what you want. You control the game, you control
Yeah.
the clock. That means you got nice leads. You don't need to have your quarterback throw it all over the field, but he's so efficient because he's got great receivers and they all can win one-on-one. You can't double one because the other one's going to beat you. So it's really Detroit. I think a team like Buffalo, after what I saw them do to Kansas City yesterday,
Yay, I was happy.
you're the
I,
second person. You're the second person
I
that
was
is.
happy that Kansas City. I like Josh too. I'm a fan of Josh.
Um, yes. So after what I saw Buffalo do yesterday, Buffalo
And they were
is
down 2 wide receivers.
that's the part, right? It's not the fact that they beat Kansas City because Kansas City's beatable. Their tackles are terrible. Their defense is good, but their
And their
offense
offense is okay
is
right
not
now.
explosive, right? They gotta put together 10, 11, 12, 14 play drives. You can't do that, especially when you start playing better teams. They're not going to let you do it. And you saw what happened yesterday. And then even if you get into the red zone, you've got to score touchdowns. You can't kick field goals.
Yeah.
And that's what they've been doing all season. They've been
And then
living
their
by
field goal kicker was out. I don't know how they back up. So
what
for those long ones if they need.
you win by playing. They have been winning by playing good, being good in situational football.
Yeah.
Late in games.
They've been lucky basically because they should have lost about 3 games at least.
Yes,
They
because
should
they
have
should have
lost.
lost to the
They should have lost
Ravens.
last week.
They should have lost to the Ravens. They should have lost to the Broncos, and they should have lost to the Bengals. So yes, those are the three losses that they should have had. But again, it's 60 seconds, 60 minutes, and you got to play all 60. And they remind me of the Patriots. They weren't always the best team on the field, but they would find a way to win.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
And that's what championship teams with championship pedigree do. And so you've got to knock them out. And so, but I think Buffalo is a team that has the formula to do
Yeah, and
it.
they're
Finally,
aggressive. So the last play, they're like Romo talks a lot, even though Romo don't bother me. He was like, "They got to go for it." I'm like, "Yeah, they do got to go for it. They can't kick a field goal because Patrick gonna score. They got to go for it."
yes, and that's the thing. And so teams know, and the teams that can weather that internal pressure that says, if we give this ball back to Patrick Mahomes and the score is not past 8, like if we're not up by more than 8, we may have a problem winning this game. And so that doubt creeps into all of these teams. And you see it happen when what was the overtime game where they won and they got the ball and they just went down the field and scored because what was the team that
Wasn't it,
they didn't go for two? It was
Tampa.
Tampa, yes.
Tampa, yeah, and then
Tampa
they
didn't
with
go
the
for
coin
two.
toss, they knew they had lost because they Patrick got the ball
And
first.
they knew it was over with when that thing came up heads. He was like, ugh. I saw the Baker's face. I'm not getting back on this field. And it didn't, they're the 13-second team. They're the team that from one drive with Patrick Mahomes and Travis
Yeah,
Kelsey
they
and
good. Yeah, they
D
tried
Hop
yesterday, even though they needed 2 scores, so that was perfect.
and Pacheco. Right. And so when um, Josh Allen ran that 30-yard, I was like, was anybody watching him run that? I'm like nobody could get to him and tackle him.
He's a big man.
And so when he was running that 30-yard touchdown to put the game out of reach, I was like, he has an X factor that, but here's the caveat. Here's the one little piece. They have beaten the Chiefs many times in the regular season.
Yeah, they have.
And they have beat them 0 times in the playoff.
Yeah,
And
they've
so
come close, but
that's
yeah, they haven't. Yes, but this year may be different. Who knows? Because they're gonna
goose
see.
egg in the playoffs, and
I
that's where I'm
agree.
like,
I'm still
I'm
happy. I'm still happy the Chiefs lost yesterday.
well. I mean, you know they were going to lose. They weren't going to go undefeated.
Maybe, but if they lose now, like their schedule, think about it, because the Bills are 1 game behind them. If they lose another game, the Bills got home field advantage.
I think, yeah, but the Chiefs' schedule is pretty easy the rest of the way. This was the only game that was even close to having a 50%.
But they
Loss.
could lose. They still could lose another game. I mean, I'm just saying this
They
game was kind of
can,
pivotal. And then if they won this game, I mean, would have been 10. They probably would have automatically clinched the
but
first seed early.
I think the home field advantage is that mystique is gone. They killed it last year when they went on the
But I
road
still think
every
in the
week in
playoffs,
the playoffs
in
and
Kansas
won.
versus New York, the Bills are more likely to win at home. More
Yeah,
likely.
they were at home last year. And
Well,
Kansas
they
City
didn't play
went in
them,
there
but
and
they
put
played
hands on
They
them.
played the Ravens.
No, they played the Bills first. They played Miami at home.
Mm-hmm.
Then they played the Bills and the Ravens. They beat the Bills on the road, and they beat the Ravens on the road. The only home game that the Chiefs had last year was Miami in the first round, and Miami can't play under 40 degrees, so they had lost that game when the temperature dropped. So that was over with. But then everybody expected, Bills at home. The Bills finally get them at home. And
I see what you're saying, but it's still more likely. I know they're still more likely to lose, I think, in New York versus Kansas, even though they might not at all. But I just think it's more likely.
I think they got that Debo, that mind control. I think they got that Debo on.
But I don't think Josh goes for that. Maybe the rest of the team might. Josh is who cares about that? I mean, honestly,
Josh doesn't have to go for it.
When they lose, it's not Josh anyway. It's not Josh. It's the defense. When they change the overtime rule, it's the defense. I mean,
it's
a lot. It's not usually Josh that causes them to lose to the Chiefs.
No, I mean, but Josh didn't play particularly well in the playoffs last year. He played well enough, but the Chiefs are a champion that they're not going to roll over and let you just beat them. You're going to have to take, it's like boxing.
Well,
you got to knock the Chiefs out. You can't just.
So it makes good games, but it's good when they lose too.
And yesterday was a knockout. Like I thought that the Bills, particularly with their injuries and the fact that they put almost 400 yards on the Chiefs with a good defense, the fact that Josh Allen was doing what he wanted to do. I think that.
Yeah, and their defense got to Mahomes, but they left
the tackles are terrible.
Yeah,
like the Chiefs tackles are terrible.
Von Miller got that sack.
What this Chiefs team reminds me of, that team that when they went to the Super Bowl against Tom Brady,
with Tom,
and their tackles were bad, and the Bucs defense is better than the Bills defense back then, and they just obliterated the Chiefs offensive line. I mean, they couldn't do anything, and so that's what I saw yesterday. And so even though the Chiefs scored, okay, but the defense didn't play as well as they could have, but Josh Allen's a different animal.
Yeah, he is. Which is why I like Josh.
He is Lamar Jackson with 40 more pounds, 50 more pounds on him. He's not as fast as Lamar.
He has a tight end body.
He's got a tight end body, and just when you think you've got him bottled up, the only thing, his bugaboo, his Achilles heel, has been the interceptions.
Yeah,
and he's kept those down this year. He has,
even though he's thrown more in the last.
Yeah, they haven't been.
Even when he's trying to be Superman, which I was worried about yesterday because I knew he was down 2 receivers.
They were the interceptions he used to throw before were catastrophic. They haven't been as catastrophic this year, and then they've been able to rebound. Because what was the game? Didn't he have a bad game against the Texans where they turned the ball over a lot, but they still ended up winning that game? Yeah. They still ended up winning that game. So those are the things that make me say, oh, this Bills team is different. Now, Buffalo may have a curse, because they went to 4 straight Super Bowls and lost.
Yeah, but how long ago was that? We're not going to believe it, Coach.
Well, every time they face the Chiefs in the playoffs, they've
The
been
Chiefs
3
are good.
times
That's not a
0
curse.
0 and 3.
Look at Lamar when he plays certain teams,
0 and 3.
which is another discussion.
The Steelers got title indeed on
I'm just
Lamar
saying, look at
Jackson.
Lamar when they play certain teams.
We saw that against the Chiefs and the Steelers. Lamar has a losing record, a significantly bad record. They said his quarterback rating goes from 110 down to 73.
Well, in the last time 8 times they met, they're what? He's lost 7.
Yeah, he won the one time his rookie year. He beat them, and ever since then he's lost.
And then Mike Tomlin hadn't had a quarterback. So I mean, yesterday was interesting though, because the defense actually looked decent because the Steelers couldn't score a touchdown.
The Steelers aren't that good, but what happened?
It was just a different game. And then
Baltimore lost their identity.
Got rattled, and then they wasn't running the ball like Derek was. I mean, I don't know. I just didn't. The game was.
Baltimore lost their identity on offense. They
do that when they play these teams, though. They did that with the Chiefs last year in the playoffs.
Exactly, and so the stat I saw this morning was staggering. When they run the ball 20 or more times, they win. In every one of their wins, they have run the ball more than 20 times.
Yeah.
In every one of their losses, they're averaging 14 runs. Yesterday, Derrick Henry had 13 carries.
Yeah,
it wasn't on the field on the 2-point conversion. How do you wrap your mind around that? Your second best player on offense is not on the field when you went on a must get, and it's only 2 yards. Even if you aren't going to run the play for him, you have to account for him. But when you have him off the field, everybody in the planet knew Lamar was going to keep that ball. The Steelers knew that. That's why they just ran straight to the sideline. They didn't even go up the middle. They ran straight to the sideline. We're going to meet you to the sideline. We're going to beat you to the sideline. They knew the play. They're like, Lamar's going there. And the fact it just feels disrespectful to call that play when he makes the plays to get you down there and get you within 2. And
I don't understand that. Yeah, I don't understand that.
I was like, bro, what did you do?
I wonder why does Monken do that because that's caused them major games.
Look, they're going to have to make a significant playoff run, and they don't have the defense this year because Josh Allen will destroy the Steelers defense, the Ravens defense. Josh Allen made a good Chiefs defense look pedestrian yesterday. What do you think that bad Ravens defense is going to do against Josh Allen? And then if you mess around and give him his full weapons, it's going to be Bubba Sparks. It's going to be ugly up in here. I see right now the team to beat in the AFC is Buffalo Bills. After watching that game yesterday, I think.
Can they beat the Chiefs? I think they can beat anybody else on any given Sunday.
Yes, I think there might be a bit of a mental block. So if they can get over that hump, then that'll be a changing of the guard. Because once a team gets over a hump and knows that they can beat somebody in the playoffs, not just in the regular season, but in the playoffs, it does something to that team's confidence, right? And so, and that's why Cincinnati gives the Chiefs so much fits, because when they won in Arrowhead in that playoff game,
but what's up with Cincinnati this year? They cannot win. They cannot win close games if they're. I mean, I thought they won't come back last night.
Who talking about? Cincinnati?
I thought they were.
No.
I thought that when they tied the game, they might, I thought they were.
Have you watched that defense the whole season?
They came back, it tied the game. They field goal missed 2 freaking kicks. I mean, it's just always something.
That's offense. I said, did you watch that defense?
I know the defense has been
bad. They gave up 34 points. You can
win a game with a mediocre defense.
You should not win a game
with
you give up 34 points. With that offense, and you're right, they missed 2 kicks, so they should have had 34 points or 33. That would have gave them 33. They should have points right there with them. Their offense is not the problem.
Oh yeah, I know, but it's I feel bad. I feel bad for their fans because it's a lot. Most of the games they have lost have been close.
It's like the Ravens. The Ravens offense minus the Steelers is not the problem. It's the defense that's the problem.
No, it's the Steelers. But division games are always weird, and those rivals are always weird anyway. Like the Bears Packers game was weird to me yesterday.
The Bear, if they don't fire Eberflus, they just
should have fired him last year. That's
they
the
just
whole
don't.
problem. Caleb would be in a mess because he looked better yesterday, even though they lost the game.
They should have won that game.
But
they
should have won one more play.
Exactly. Your head coach got scary.
No, I'm not a Bears fan. Let it be known.
Yeah. But
I live here.
He got scary in that moment and screw the pooch. And that stuff right there is situational football. When you let the Commanders throw a 13-yard play to get them close enough to where that quarterback could throw the ball.
Mary.
And then, that play didn't matter. Yes, it did. Because his arm wasn't strong enough to throw it 70-plus yards. His arm was strong enough to throw it 60-plus, and you gave him 13. Mm-hmm. And he still didn't get it to the end zone. It got tapped at the 3-yard line, and then it went into the end zone, and the dude caught it. So he didn't even throw it into the end zone.
No.
He threw it short.
And then they gave him enough time for his people to get down to the end zone to catch the ball.
And then why you got to spy on the quarterback when it's a Hail Mary? You just took a whole man off the field with the spying JJ. He's not going to run 60 yards for a touchdown. So why are you spying him? Those are the little things.
Just trying to stay open long enough to get people down the field.
So Eberflus has got to go. But then the sad thing is, I would say this. Let's just see how Thomas Brown does for his audience.
Caleb looked better yesterday from the.
He looked a lot better yesterday, but you always get that bump when you have a coaching change like that. There's always a bump. You saw what the Saints are doing.
Oh yeah, the Saints won the last 2 games.
They won the last 2 games. You get a bump when you have a change because it feels like, hey, the players start going, they're actually trying to do something. So it's worth me throwing my body out here and putting it on the line because they're actually trying to do something. So it gets a little bump. Let's see what they do next week. But I don't trust Eberflus.
Who do they play next week though? Their season, all their division.
games. They got all the division games coming up. So this is the hardest part.
If they play the Lions, it might be a 50-something to 6 again.
The Lions are going to boat race them.
Thanksgiving, they play the Lions. Thanksgiving Day.
Well, that's a game I would sleep on. I'm literally go eat some food and go to sleep because that's gonna be.
Oh man, you got to watch football. Thanksgiving it's a tradition, even if it's a bad football.
That game is gonna be this curb stomping. That's not going to be anything close unless we get the Caleb Williams that we saw yesterday. If we get the Caleb Williams we saw yesterday, he won't be as bad as the Jacksonville game. It might be like 34-21 or 34-20, something like that, where it's like, okay, it's respectful. They might score late. You throw something in there, 34-20, 23, something like that, where you kick a late field goal just to make it look better than what it was. But they're not in the same class. The only team in the NFC that's in the class of Detroit is the Eagles. Your Eagles are the only team that can even give Detroit a serious game. And that's because Jalen Carter is playing out his mind.
That might be true.
That defensive line for the Eagles.
Yeah, Jalen Carter. Not even
when
just
they come to play, you can't do that.
Not even just him. Our defense is playing well. I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
I love Georgia guys.
And Jordan Davis, I was watching a game with my wife, and I said, that is a large man. And she said, who? I said, look at the screen. And she looked up, and she said, oh, she knows exactly what I was talking about. Jordan Davis is a different size human being amongst large human beings. That's the thing. I was like, do you not understand? Jalen Carter is a big man.
He is a big man.
And Jordan Davis makes him look small. That's how big Jordan Davis is. It is amazing. And when they choose to play, when those two.
Yeah, even Blankenship. I mean, he's actually playing well this year. He was sorry last year.
Blankenship is playing. The Eagles have the defense that can give Detroit because they can rush 4 and get to the passer. And that's what you have to do against the Lions. You cannot blitz because you blitz them. They got too many good receivers. They will beat that. And the offensive line is really good. But if you can get pressure with 4, Now you can drop 7 back in the coverage. You can sit back and give Jared Goff tighter windows. He's not going to run, so you could run some man in there if you got people that can cover. And the rookie, the corners are playing a lot better for the Eagles. They have gotten better each and every week. So I think,
which is why, like when we played the Redskins, they didn't even throw over in his direction.
No, they don't want to. They don't want to.
One time.
Yeah, and Terry McLaurin was on the milk carton in that game.
What that's because our defense. Mitchell was on him. They ain't throwing that direction.
Mitchell had him in handcuffs. he had him in handcuffs. I was like, where's Terry McLaurin? I thought he was all pro. But yeah, so right now my de facto NFC and AFC championship game participants, I won't say who's going to win. Participants are the Eagles and the Lions. Those are clearly the two best teams in the NFC. There's some teams that are sneaky, like the 49ers. You got to keep your eye on.
I don't know about the 49ers.
But I want the 49ers to lose every game that they play.
Yesterday they should have won the game yesterday.
Yeah, they did, barely. But
I mean, they didn't.
They got a lot of injuries. I think Kittle's out.
People are back though.
McCaffrey's back, but Kittle was out, and Debo Samuel hasn't been 100% since he had that respiratory issue, and then you got Ayuk is out for the season.
Yeah.
So
I don't think they're going to be in the mix. I mean, they might the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to do anything.
Yeah, and the defense getting longer is already looking.
They're not as good as they used to be.
They're not as old. They're not as good. But I'm trying to think who else in the NFC could challenge the two big dogs. I thought Tampa for a minute.
They had too many injuries, and I don't think they're gonna make it back.
And then
the Packers. I mean, they're gonna be in the playoffs, but I don't think they're gonna.
Jordan Love gonna throw another. Matter of fact, I think he just threw another interception.
Yeah. I don't know nobody else. I like Jordan Love though.
Jordan Love's not playing tonight, and I bet he'll throw a pick in this game.
See, I like Jordan Love. I like
Jordan Love.
Even though I live in Chicago,
you like to throw it to the other team.
I like Jordan. Maybe I like him because he beat the Dallas in the playoffs last year. They got beat down. That was a great thing.
I pull for Jordan Love. Let me just make sure I have a rooting interest for Jordan Love. But the football just person in me says you cannot continue to make those kind of mistakes in games and expect to be a winning franchise. You cannot turn the ball over. And I don't want him. I love the fact that he'll put the ball in harm's way. He'll throw it downfield. He'll take those chances.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's
got the bonehead plays. It's not the downfield interceptions. It's the bailout. I'm panicking. Let me throw it up.
Throw the ball away.
Yes, just throw it away. Throw it at the feet. Like do something, but don't just panic and throw the ball, trying to make a play, and give up 6 points, pick six, short fields, things like that. That's the killer. And in a playoff, it's how you get home. It's how you go home early. That's really how you go home. You notice how Jalen Hurts has stopped turning the ball over, and how y'all got on the winning streak.
The reason we stopped turning the ball over is we run the ball, and he ain't got to play hero ball.
Exactly. So get the ball to the acrobat.
He can run the ball. He can run the ball. I throw it away.
What y'all need to do is wrap Saquon and bubble wrap the rest of the season. Because I'm not even gonna say the word out loud because I don't even want to jinx it. But if he's not there in the playoffs, y'all got a problem.
We gonna be all right.
Okay. I'm just saying Saquon and because Saquon is playing so well, the entire Giants coaching staff should be benched and fired.
Well, I think they are, even though the coach is not a bad coach, though. And the Giants coach is not a bad coach.
They didn't.
The GM, yeah, I'm talking about the coach.
And
the
gave
coach
Daniel Jones $40 million.
He only can work with the groceries that they've given him.
And they benched Daniel Jones for the rest of the season.
They don't want to pay him. That's the main reason they benched him. They won't pay him because he got the clause.
He got the health clause that can kick in, and they're about to get rid of him. Yeah. And I'm like, bruh, you gave this man $40 million and let Saquon go, and Saquon only took $12 million from the Eagles.
I know, but Saquon wouldn't be as good as well with the Giants because he don't have the rest. He don't have the line, and he don't have the other players. So
It
they
didn't
did.
matter whether or not he was going to be that good. He was the face of the franchise.
Oh, I know, but he wasn't doing nothing there. Let him go. Let him be free. He's in a better situation right now. The better situation.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, I
I
get it.
understand what you're saying. I'm just saying for
Yeah.
him, it's a better situation. Because the
Say-
Giants
say-
weren't gonna go nowhere, even though he was the face of the team. They weren't gonna go nowhere with him.
No, I appreciate like the fact that they let him go for a bag of magic beans. They didn't even like it was ridiculous. They just let him go. Like
I'm
he
sure
signed
they
with
just didn't want him to come to us.
when you
I mean, why would you want to give your best franchise player to someone in your division that you got to see twice a year?
that felt like that was some petty on his part because he had other suitors.
But he's from Pennsylvania. He went to Penn State. I mean, he's like he coming home basically. So
It is extra petty. And
so
when
is Micah. Let him come on back to Pennsylvania.
when he gave it to when he gave him that almost 200 yards, the 2 bills, and he called up the dogs. Because my wife said she saw the like they had like the sideline and they were asking him if you want to go back in because he was close to 200
yeah,
total yards.
yeah.
And he
He
said
said
no. He
let
said no.
the
He
guy.
was good.
Yeah.
I'm good. He proved my point. He had something. But he liked the players. He was making his point to management. He liked his teammates, and he didn't want to rub. He didn't want to make them pay.
Oh yeah.
The management did, and I appreciate that about Saquon. That shows a man he got some compassion, he cares. He could have rubbed it in, and he could have walked out.
I'm sure even without the end of the game, his point was made. That
he made his point.
Made his point, yeah.
He made his point, and he made his point on Thursday.
People, I was at the game. They was calling for Eli to come. Eli was in the box to play. How about you need to suit up? The people in the
stand. He made his point the other night too. Saquon, late night game.
Well, yeah, but and then I can get that play when he did that reverse hurdle.
Yeah. That's why I call him an acrobat.
He'll be a player of the year.
Only acrobats can make that. I mean, he
without
did
getting hurt
at full speed in a game.
Because you knew somebody was about to come tackle you, and you wanted to prevent that.
Right. That's the best 14-yard run I've ever seen. The best 14-yard run I've ever seen. I still think the Beastquake was the best pure run that I've seen because it was for a touchdown. And that's the only difference. It was a longer run. It was for a touchdown. He mushed some players, dove into the end zone, just ignorant run. Beastquake is still the best run I've seen. That's the second best run. Second best run that I've seen in a game live. Like that was ridiculous. Like what he did to a grown man. He jumped over him backwards. Okay. Like in the hood, you would have to get swung on after you did something like that because you just ain't embarrass him like that. Like you ain't gonna embarrass me like that. I had to put some hands on you, but you can't do it. You're professional, but you just can't do that. Okay, so Eagles and the Lions have clearly separated themselves in the NFC. My Falcons are pitiful. They about to get roasted on Thanksgiving like a turkey because their defense is atrocious. It is atrocious. And I knew what was going to happen yesterday. That's why I didn't watch the game. I was doing my taxes. I was cleaning my tennis shoes. I was cleaning my tennis shoes. I was clipping my toenails. I was doing anything but watching that game because I knew what was going to happen because Denver and Bo Nix, they play a precision, quick offense. And we can't.
You didn't know it was going to be that bad, did you?
Yeah, our defense is terrible. I thought we would score more points, but I knew Denver had a good defense.
Denver does have a good, but I didn't either because I looked at the score and I was like, wow, all right. And then I saw my friends talking about bench Kirk, put Penix in the game.
Well, Kirk is a better version of Aaron Rodgers because Kirk cannot move.
Yeah,
he's going to be on the spot. Like whether he's in shotgun or under center, he's not moving off that spot. He might slide up a little bit in the pocket. He might slide left and right, but he's pretty much going to be on the spot. And when you got a decent pass rush, he's an easy mark to tackle. He's an easy mark to sack. So when Denver could cover, and they covered Drake London, and they were covering Kyle Pitts and Mooney, and they really stopped the run. Once they stopped Bijan, I was like, this is gonna be a long day, and it was.
Yeah.
It was. It was ugly, and I was like, and they scored touchdowns, and we kicking field goals. I said, this is
So
not
out
gonna
of
be
all the rookies, who would you say the best? Like, how would you rank the rookies
the
of this
best
year?
is your boy in
Dang,
DC, JD Day,
dang.
Jaden Daniels. The one that might win, may be a dark horse for winning Rookie of the Year is Bo Nix.
So it's Caleb Last,
Caleb has got
Drake
a lot of
May.
good, but he hasn't put he. All right, so ceiling versus floor, right? So Caleb has probably the highest ceiling of all the rookies
If the Bears don't run him,
if the Bears don't ruin him, but he also has the lowest floor. So he has the potential to be a bust, or he can be a franchise saving quarterback. Jaden Daniels doesn't have as high as a ceiling, but he has a higher floor.
oh, yeah.
So he's not going to be terrible.
Oh no,
He's
I
always
think
going to
he's
be
gonna be great.
he's going to be a great
I
quarterback.
think he's
So
gonna be great. Unfortunately, he's in our division.
here's his problem. His offensive coordinator has a bad track record in the second half of seasons. When he was a college coach, when he was a head NFL coach, when he's been an offensive coordinator, he does very, very well out the gate. But in the second half of seasoning,
People figure him out.
they figure him out. He doesn't get creative, and their offense is not as dynamic. And that's what's been happening these last couple of weeks. That offense is
I think some of it is his ribs, and too. I think some of it is injuries.
could be, but when you look at the record of Cliff Kingsbury
I know what
throughout
you're
his
saying.
career,
Yeah.
that's been a knock on him. So we said this is a show to make you smarter. That's something that you could take to your water cooler and be like, it's not Jaden Daniels. It might be Cliff Kingsbury because his record is not that great in the second half of seasons. And you can go back and check all the way through his college days, all the way back to Texas Tech. He's not good in the second half of seasons. And so that's a problem that he's got to correct. And Jaden will help him because he's that good of a player. I think he can make plays in this offense that'll make it look okay. But these last couple of weeks, and it could be his injury. They've had some other
I
injuries
think
as
some
well.
of it, and I think a lot of it was our defense too. I mean, because even though Washington record is good, they haven't played a lot of people over 500 as far as the records.
No. I mean, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors because they were playing a losing record because they were bad last year, so they're playing a easier schedule. The Cowboys are down, so that's an easier game. You expect
Yeah,
that
he plays them twice.
You expect that to be two losses. You knew Philly was going to beat them, and the Giants are terrible. So you really expect them to be 2-4 in the division, but Cowboys are terrible. So that does help. And then you play, an easier schedule with
even
other
though
teams. I think they're ahead of schedule because they realize they've got a quarterback, and that's the best thing that could happen for the Commanders. They realize they got that quarterback, and so you can build a team.
And he has some good veteran players that have good guidance with him too. I think too.
Yeah,
I don't think the Bears, they don't have a whole bunch of veteran players to give Caden any.
Wait, wasn't my prediction when we were first a few months ago that I said that the Falcons were going to have to that your boy would be playing by the end of the season?
Did you say that?
I think I said that the rookie was going to be in for Kirk Cousins, and if Kirk Cousins has another bad out,
who y'all play next?
Let me check the schedule because I know this. I knew we played the Raiders on the 18th because I thought about going to that game.
The Raiders.
Okay. The game, yeah, they're playing the Raiders on the 18th of December.
Okay.
In Vegas, and I was thinking about going because I wanted to see that stadium.
Oh yeah.
Damn, that's already a big play alert. Good God. Okay. That must be the Texans hit a big play because I don't think Cooper Rush is hitting no big plays. All right, let me look at. All right.
The Texans are in the red zone.
Yeah, they just hit like a 46-yard play, and they got the top receiver back today, so they really
he's back.
Okay.
Nico Collins.
Yeah.
And I did not know DeMarco was from Bessemer until I was looking at the pregame today.
We're still leading. We're still leading the division.
Well, your division.
The Saints have
The only
won 2 in a
person
row.
that has a
Look,
decent record is you and the Tampa.
the Tampa's 4-6.
I'm just
We're the only one that's over 500, 6-5. We've lost 2 in a row, and we're still over 500.
Because like the Panthers and then the Saints lost all those games.
The Bucks are
Buccaneers
4.
would be better if they had all the injuries.
The Bucks are 4-6. The Saints are 4-7, and the Panthers are 3-7. That's a bad division.
That's a bad division. That's what I'm saying. So y'all are, y'all should win the South.
Here we go. All right. So here's what we have coming up.
Score.
Bye week.
Okay.
Then we got the Chargers coming to Atlanta. And that's not good.
Oh, yeah. The Chargers are looking good.
The Chargers go boat races with a good quarterback and a running game and a decent defense
too, actually.
And a decent defense. I'm gonna be.
Khalil Mack was out yesterday, so
Then we got a Monday night game against the Raiders in Las Vegas.
Y'all should win, but who knows?
We've got 2 wins potentially left on our schedule because we also have the Vikings. I'm sorry, we also have the Vikings on our schedule. And that defense.
You technically could beat the Vikings.
Come on now.
I don't think so, but
Here are the wins that I see that are left: Giants and the Panthers.
Yeah, y'all might be the Saints. Did y'all play them twice already?
Yeah, we went 1-1 against the Saints.
Okay.
So as long as we beat the Panthers, we've already beat the Bucks twice. We went 1-1 against the Saints. We've already beaten the Panthers 1 time. All we have to do is win that game against the Panthers at the end of the season. We'll win the division. Well, here's what we have. We've got Chargers, Vikings, Raiders, Giants, Commanders, Panthers.
You should beat the Panthers, the Raiders, the Giants.
Yes. So 3 of the
you technically could beat, but I don't know if you will.
It depends on where they are in their season.
Is it where's the game? There or in Washington?
It is let me check my tickets because I can tell you. I think it's in DC. Okay. Yes, the 3 home games we have are the Chargers, the Giants, and the Panthers. So that's who we have left. Chargers, Giants, and Panthers at home. We played a lot of home games early in the season. And I was like, man, it felt like every week we were going into the stadium.
So now y'all road. We opposite.
We're road warriors right now. And
after Sunday, the Eagles don't get on a plane anymore.
That's good.
This is the Giants. Well, actually, we played the Giants in Philly. We played the Ravens, but that's close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you can take a bus.
We'll play Washington, so it's still close. So.
Yeah, all those bus rides. So yeah, in the AFC, I think it's the Bills,
the Chiefs, the Steelers, the Ravens.
Out of those 4 teams, who I would expect to make it to the AFC Championship game, just because their strength of schedule, the Chiefs and the Bills. I think those 2, because the Ravens defense is terrible. I think the only way the Ravens can make it to the AFC Championship game is if how the playoff bracket plays out and they go against the Bills, because I think the Ravens can beat the Bills in a shootout, because I just think Lamar.
Yeah, because they did earlier in the season.
Because of Lamar.
On Sunday night.
The Lamar factor, and I think they beat him pretty handily earlier.
They did. They on Sunday Night Football. I remember that.
And so I think if it plays out to where they play them in like the divisional round, then that I could see the Ravens beating the Bills.
You think the Steelers could do anything in the playoff and surprise people?
I got to see more. They've got a great record.
I mean, they got a great defense.
The defense looks fantastic, but I need to see them against a non-divisional opponent that's worth a damn. Because the 3 games that Russell has played. He played
Yeah,
two
look at the
two
Jets.
bombs.
Who else they play? The Jets. Who else? The Ravens. Who else have they played?
They played somebody else. So
Commanders.
I think they played two bombs, and the Ravens was the first real test for them. And the Commanders were a test,
Yeah,
but
yeah. The Ravens. It's hard. It's a division game. It's hard to kind of tell. It's just
it's
that
hard. So I need
yeah.
to see them like against a team like the Bills or a team like the Chargers. I would like to see like a non-divisional game that's an opponent that's good to get a good read on the Steelers because the rest of their games are going to be against tough opponents.
Oh yeah.
I think they have the Chiefs.
This is their first divisional game.
I think they have the Chiefs left on the schedule too.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Christmas Day. Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Because my godson was trying to talk me into taking him. Yes, it's Christmas Day.
So yeah. So that alone.
Hopefully Netflix won't have the issues they had Friday on Christmas Day.
The issue they had on Friday was a bad boxing match.
No, I'm just talking about the streaming. You like every time it was a punch, and then you see a circle. I'm just that happened on football, Christmas Day football.
They didn't plan for that surge in the surge. But yeah, I think so. It depends on how the playoff brackets. If the Chiefs get home field advantage, then I think they'll be in the AFC Championship game. If anybody but the Bills come into Arrowhead Stadium, I think the Chiefs will go back to the Super Bowl.
I hope not.
But the Bills have, like I said, they haven't beaten the playoffs.
I want us to go to the Super Bowl. And even if the Detroit goes, I want them to win. It's a good story.
No, the game that the NFL and the whomever is going to be covering the game, whoever is going to have that game, they want Detroit versus Kansas City.
I don't. I'm just saying. I want Detroit. If Detroit makes
why wouldn't you want that game?
I want them to win. It's a good story.
The storyline is okay.
I'm
tired. The storylines is so great. The storylines on that game, the storylines are too good to pass up. Why wouldn't you want that?
I'm tired of the Chiefs. I want Lamar. I want somebody else to make it to the Super Bowl. I'm tired of the Chiefs. Man. I have Chiefs fatigue.
Storyline. The Chiefs are popular. You got Taylor Swift.
I don't care. I don't care about none of that.
You got the three-peat on the line in the Super Bowl.
I don't want them to make a three-peat. I don't want a three-peat. I can care less about Taylor Swift.
You got the upstart Detroit Lions coming in.
I can get with the Detroit. It's the Chief part I have issues with.
No.
I want Lamar. I want Josh. I want Tomlin.
That's your personal thing. But I'm telling you what the NFL and what the media wants.
Well, I don't really care about what
those stories write themselves.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm just saying what I want.
Yeah, but I'm telling you what the media wants.
I know, but hopefully they won't get what they want. I don't want the Chiefs for the third time.
I mean, because there's some other good stories. The Josh Allen story is a good story.
The Bills. I mean, the Bills. They've been to the Super Bowl. How many times they hadn't won? That's a good story.
Not as good as the three-peat.
It's better to me.
To you, but not as good as the
me.
three-peat.
Because it's come from, they've lost multiple times. The Chiefs have won multiple times. Give somebody else a chance. That's my opinion.
And people said that about the Patriots.
I hated the Patriots. I don't hate the Chiefs, so.
Yeah, so I think, yeah. So AFC is going to be how the playoffs, play out, how the seedings go. I don't think anybody wants any parts of the Chargers in the playoffs. I really don't.
Yeah, they won't be like they were when they played the Jacksonville and they came back and beat them. But 3 years ago?
Yeah, they got a different coaching staff, and Jim Harbaugh knows how to coach.
They have a defense
and they have a defense. They don't have any real weapons on offense, so they start getting.
No, because they got rid of people.
If they get some real weapons on offense, they're gonna be a problem.
But Justin is playing better. Justin's playing better. Coaching matters. That's what coaching matters.
Coaching matters. Here's the thing that people aren't talking about is that if the Chiefs lose, look at their division. The only team that's not going to be good next year is the Raiders. The Broncos are playing better with
They
a
are.
quarterback, and they're still playing under.
Arizona is too.
I'm just talking about the AFC West right now,
Mm-hmm.
but the Broncos are still, think about it like this: the Broncos are still playing and paying Russell Wilson. So when they get that
Oh yeah,
salary
they'll have
off the
money so they can get
books,
more weapons.
they'll have money to sign better players. They're playing this good right now, and they have a big salary cap hit because of Russell Wilson. When they get that off the books, think about how good they're going to be.
That's true. Because
So,
they already got to do defense. They just need some offensive skill players.
and you got the Chargers that are coming on with a good quarterback, now a good coach. You put some better
And they got
players,
a decent defense too.
decent defense. You put some better players on the offensive side of the ball, and the Chargers are going to be good. So the Chiefs are not going to be, if they don't win it this year, they're not going to be guaranteed to win their own
I hope they
division.
don't. I'm just hope they don't.
But this is how dynasties die. They rise so quickly, and then they get. Look what happened to Seattle. One bad play, and they disappeared off the map. So
That was a real bad play though.
it was a terrible play. One of the worst play calls. One of the worst play calls I've seen in, well, outside of the Falcons trying to throw passes when we could.
The Falcons though, the Falcons game will probably be.
That was a bad second half. The first half was
the comeback.
The whole second half.
No one
was
will ever
terrible.
forget that game. I bet you won't.
Oh man, I could tell you the sequence that lost us that game. Play for play. It was at the end, they threw the pass to Julio on the sideline to get us in the field goal range. If we kick that field goal, we're up 10 and they don't have enough time to score, get back in the score. So we got a better chance of winning the game. So they throw the pass to Julio. The next play, it's a pass. Okay? Next play is a pass. You've been running the ball well with Devonta Freeman. You throw a pass. I think that one was a holding penalty. So now you back up 10. So now you're on the edge of field goal range. The next play, you call for another pass. Matt Ryan gets sacked. Now you're out of field goal range. It's third down. You run a bullshit draw. Or I think you try to throw it again, and then it falls incomplete, and you have to punt it back to Tom Brady. And then what happens? So now you're only up 7. You give the ball back to Tom Brady. What does Tom Brady do? Goes on the field, scores a tie. They go to overtime, get the ball, touchdown, over with. All you got to do is run the ball. Once Julio caught that ball on first down, I'd have run it 3 straight times. And you were throwing passes, so they didn't have to use their timeouts. So now Tom Brady had timeouts when you gave him the ball back. If you run the ball, you make Bill Belichick call his timeouts. You bleed the clock. You kick the field goal. You go up 10, and the time has been taken off the clock, and they got 0, and they got no timeouts, and they're down 10. You win the game that way. But that's why I hate Kyle Shanahan to this day.
I'm not a big fan of him myself, but
if I ever meet him, I'm like, hey, look at man, why you run the ball with Devontae? That's the first question I would ask him. Why you run the ball with Devontae? And he can look at me and look down and say, oh, he's part of the Shanahan family and blah, blah, blah. You don't have to listen to me. I'm like, look, the dummy can see that. Run the ball. Just run the ball. Devontae gave him 74 yards rushing in the first half. Was on a milk cart in the second half because he thought he got cute. He got cute. That's why I have no sympathy for him right now.
Well, I'm mad that he fired the defensive coordinator. That ain't why y'all lost the Super Bowl.
And now look at that defense. Okay, ain't gonna be no more scapegoats, Kyle Shanahan. But
although they didn't,
it is what it is. So, yeah, I think this week the weeks are getting more and more interesting because now it's about we pretty much know who the playoff teams are going to be, but really it's about now
seeding.
how the seeding.
Well, and also the 7th seed, you don't really know the 7th seed on the NFC and on the AFC because it's the in the hunt people because.
Yeah, think about it like this: if Denver gets in as a 7th seed,
Denver may not make it. So it's a whole bunch of folks with close records to Denver.
Well, here's like this: Denver and the Chargers. Mm-hmm. If they end up being the 7th seed, that means they would have to play. And like Buffalo goes to the 2 seed, they would have to play one of those teams. and that ain't no guaranteed win because both those teams have decent defenses, and
It'll make
some,
for a great game. You know, a playoff football.
yeah, it's different. I would trust the Chargers more in that space because with the rookie
Yeah, I
quarterback,
would too.
even though Sean Payton has been to the playoffs
I
and
know
won
that
Super Bowl
Denver's
before,
defense is better than the Chargers right now.
yeah, yeah, I don't know if a rookie could go on the road and win in the playoff game.
Not a playoff.
It could, but I would trust the Chargers more.
Although, you know, if it's in Kansas, they're going to be running the ball a lot anyway because it's going to be cold.
Yeah, well, the Chargers are a running team anyway. I mean,
I'm talking about Denver because like Bo Nix is not going to be, you know, passing 10 million passes anyway.
The challenge with Denver is yes,
and if you don't make any stupid mistakes,
and I think that their running game is good. I just don't see they don't have that guy that you can give the ball to at the end of the game and know he's going to go out there and get your first down. Like they don't have a Derrick Henry, even though the Ravens forget that Derrick Henry's on the field from time to time, but they don't have that Derrick Henry where they know they can.
He's not on the field when he need to be on the field.
Exactly. The Chargers have that guy because you saw he did it last night. The guy that they got from the Ravens.
Yeah, Harbaugh always have a good running back.
So when they needed to ice the game, they were able to ice the game. The Bears said, even though we've got a good running back, I'm scared that he might fumble.
I mean, it's one play. And did you see the stats on the field goal, like when he's within the 40 range versus when he's above 40 range?
70 for 70. He has not missed when he's inside of 40 yards. 45, between 45 and plus, it goes down. Get him the yards, coach. Trust your players. That right there says I don't trust my players. So you're going to let the time run out and just try to kick a field and escape with the win. Trust your players. He knows you don't think
he's playing not to lose instead of playing to win. And you can't do that in no close game.
No. You don't think the players know the situation? That man's going to work hard. That offensive line going to fire off the ball. But you worry about, it could be a holding penalty. It could be this. It could be that. Bruh. Trust your players. Anyway. Trust your players. Let them play. And he didn't. And it cost them a game. Now, it should have been a penalty because they ran over the
long snapper.
They ran over the long snapper. Because you see all three of them. Just long snapper just buried underneath. that was
you couldn't see the long snapper.
You couldn't see him. His head was down and they just mushed him. I thought they broke his neck the way they ran over him. But if you're looking for penalties to win ball games for you, you're in a bad situation.
No, because at the end of the game, sometimes they swallow their whistle.
They go swallow that whistle. They go let you play. You saw what happened when the Chiefs did the same thing against the Broncos. They ran right over that long snapper.
Long snapper when they blocked
the right over when they blocked the field goal. They shouldn't have won that game. They had no reason winning that game. But when you got to that,
I didn't know the long snapper was a dangerous position to be in.
It is because the guy's not very big, and he's in a he's in that vulnerable position because he's looking down, and he's not as big as a normal offensive lineman. So that's why they have that penalty because they're like, this dude could you just get killed if you line up over and he's looking down, you hit him right in that neck, it's over with. You could paralyze him. It could be bad. But they I don't know. They swallowed the whistle and got him. But it's going to be interesting to see how this season plays out. We didn't talk about college football. We didn't talk about NBA, but we'll get that on the next show.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah, I'm about to go watch the rest of this game and get me something to eat.
We'll see what tomorrow how the playoff picture changes anyway.
We'll see. Absolutely.
What the committee says. And we'll see. Indiana won't, after this weekend, probably won't be undefeated anymore. So that should actually.
I don't know.
You think Ohio State now?
I don't trust Ohio State. Where's the game?
I don't know.
Okay, if it's in Indiana, I'm putting money on Indiana.
Yeah, I don't know where the game is.
If it's in Columbus, I think it'll be a close one, but Ohio State. This is going to be the test of Indiana right here. This is their biggest test. Their only test this season. Their record is trash.
No, this is why I have issues with the whole system.
Well, their opponents, their strength of schedule is garbage. I think it's like 100.
I know, but I think that should count because they're not better than Alabama. They're not better than Ole Miss. They're not better than the SEC, which are at the bottom of the thing, but they knock each other out, which I have problems with this, the whole system. They're like Georgia, which was 12, is better. They beat Texas, which I mean, and I got problems with the whole system.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
Georgia.
better than Notre Dame. Like, I mean, anyway, maybe I'm SEC biased, but
Okay, so bias doesn't mean that you're wrong.
I know, but I mean, but I'm like, these SEC teams, which are at the bottom of the 12, are better than these undefeated Indiana for one. They're better than Notre Dame. They're better than Penn State, in my opinion.
Most of them are. I think a good game would be Penn State Ole Miss. I think that would be a good game. I would watch that game. I do think that Georgia has played one of the hardest schedules in the country.
They are, and they're in their rest of their strength of schedule is the hardest. So,
but Carson Beck looked the best he
I mean,
has.
I'm not saying he's perfect, but they beat Texas, which is they beat Texas on prime time. Yeah. They beat Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, Ole Miss, that game.
Ole Miss kind of made him look bad.
They really did. Though.
They made him look bad, and
they
Alabama,
really made us recent, and they couldn't put Georgia.
Alabama made him look bad for a half, and then they came back and tried and made it a game. But Alabama made him look real bad for half of football.
Oh, they did, and Alabama show made LSU look bad.
Yeah, I think Tennessee wasn't. I don't know if it's the coach or if the quarterback with his injury. I mean, it was coming off concussion protocol. I don't know if it was either one of those things that the reason why they didn't play. I think Tennessee played sloppy. I don't think they were playing like they wanted to win the game, like they expected to win the game. Let me say that. And when Georgia started taking the lead, I think they just kind of expected to lose because they had been losing so much against they've got like a 7 or 8 game losing streak against the Bulldogs. And it's almost like they walk in there expecting to lose because I didn't see any swagger.
Did you see any fight?
No, not from Tennessee.
Yeah, I think they're going anyway.
Yeah, and Tennessee plays much harder against Alabama. Like when they play Alabama, they give Alabama all they want. But against Georgia, it's like they just go roll over and play dead, and that's what happened.
Well, it'll be a little different. Well, after next week. So after Indiana plays Ohio State, we will see if there's some.
We'll see. Yeah, this week is going to be big. I think.
I have the problem with the conference people because like when they were doing last week when Georgia was 12, and like they would have been knocked off because they would have added the conference person because the way you rank that doesn't determine the seed because the conference people get an automatic.
Right.
Which
right.
I don't like it. But
Colorado still has a shot.
Well, I like that because I'm biased. But Colorado look good.
They handled Utah, and Utah's not
really
good.
Did. And Utah's
not good, but they still to go from the way they looked last year to doing what you're supposed to do when you play bad teams. I guarantee you, Nebraska don't want to see them now. They caught them early. They don't want to see them now.
And I hope Travis wins the Heisman. I hope he wins the Heisman.
If they don't give it to him, who are they gonna give it to? That dude, the running back from Boise State.
I don't know because I'm trying to think who's in contention. Miami quarterback.
Nope, he lost to Georgia Tech. He's out.
Who else? They're running back, but I don't. And who else? I don't know.
Boise State running back. Travis and Shador.
But he's ranked higher than Shador, which he should be.
He is because he's done more.
He's done more. I mean, he's on both sides of the freaking field.
It's a better story.
Yeah, it is.
And with the Heisman voters and with the reporters are seeing something that's never been done.
And Shador even said it when they asked him about it the other day.
Yeah, I mean, Shador knows that like what Travis Hunter is doing is unprecedented and will not be duplicated. But I mean, quietly, one of my kids I used to coach, he does it on his high school team here in Atlanta. Offense and defense. He barely comes off the field.
I think that's important. Like, when do you rest? I guess it's like, when do you rest? You don't.
You rest on special teams.
Which is very small usually.
And they give you sometimes they'll give you a spell on offense. But this kid is a running back, so he's on the field most of the time. And he's their best player. Yeah, he was a offensive player of the year for his district.
What year is he? Senior?
He's a senior. He broke his school all-time rushing record touchdowns. Like he's on the record books at his school. The problem is this, and this is the problem I have with recruiting. He's at a school that's not a powerhouse, right? And so he's the only thing they got. So he's not getting a lot of looks from
big schools.
Big schools. Great runner, great vision. He's a running back. He's got the running back size. He's about 5'10", 175.
So he plays running back and what else? Defense.
He plays corner on defense, and he roams. He'll roam, and they'll put him up on the other team's best receiver. So it's not like they're hiding him on defense.
Oh yeah, so he's good in both ends.
Yeah, he's good. He's good on both. I mean, a lot of interceptions. He's a good player. I wish he would get more looks. But he also plays basketball too, and so
he all around athlete.
The challenge is this: during basketball season is when 7-on-7 happens, and that's when a lot of players get scholarships, because that's the new place for skilled players to get scholarships is to play 7-on-7. Because a lot of the other kids I used to coach that are going to, one kid's going to go play quarterback in Miami, another one's going to play tight end at Georgia, and a couple of them are going to Tennessee, so on and so forth. They play 7-on-7, so they got seen. A couple of them played on Cam Newton's team, and they rolled with him, and then now they got big scholarships. Okay. So
he can't do that because he's playing.
He can't do that because he's playing basketball, and so that's his challenge. And I don't think kids that play multiple sports should be penalized like that.
I don't think so either, because I think they make better overall players anyway.
That's tough, right? And I was like,
they really do.
Somebody's gonna get a gem, and somebody's gonna get a really good player. Matter of fact, I may make a call down to FAM and send him a tape, because I think FAM would be a good place for him, at least to springboard into. He could transfer portal out, but FAM needs a running back apparently.
So I guess before we end with FAMU, what you think about the chatter on Facebook?
I think it's an overreaction.
Fire Cozy. I think so too.
I think firing the coach is an overreaction. Wow. Now, I do think Cozy needs to evaluate his offensive play calling. And he's not getting the most out of the offense that was dynamic just 1 year prior.
Sure.
And so, yes, I understand the loss of the coach, the head coach.
The coach, and you lost some players too.
Was big, and you lost some players, but that was, I mean, this whole season has been shaky.
And then that whole transition, the whole transition with Willie leaving and hiring the other guy and Cozy, that affected the players too. I mean, and they kids. So I mean, it's just, I don't think it's always going to be a smooth transition. And
I think they like Coach Cozy. I think he's got some good things in place. I do think he needs to find a dynamic offensive play caller that's like coming up. Like he needs to.
I agree, but like you look at Jackson State. They lost Prime, and then they didn't do well last year, and this year they probably will win the SWAC. So programs with new coaches go down and up. I don't think you just need to fire somebody.
No, because then you're gonna start the process all over again, and that's gonna set the program back even more. So, I agree. But I do think there needs to be some staffing changes. But not
I agree, and I would agree with that.
No, not that. I
think something need to be done, but firing people, I don't think is
no. It's not always the answer. Now, Chicago.
Oh yeah, he should have been fired last year. That's another story. He's been there. And he's a lame duck coach, and see that's the issue. They should have fired him last year and started with.
But that's a poorly run team.
And no one that want to go there, because Kingsbury don't want to go there because they know it was a lame duck coach, so they knew they wouldn't have a job probably after a year.
Yeah. So Kingsbury did the right thing. He said, "Oh, I'm going to. I got a new owner.
I'm sure if it was
a new owner, a new GM, a new head coach, and a new quarterback." Oh, he said, that's 3-4 years right there.
Yeah.
And the way they started this year, he just bought himself a whole nother year. Unless somebody wants, and I don't think he wants to be a head coach.
Unless he gets a head coaching job again.
I don't think he wants to be a head coach again. This is the best job. He got all that money from Arizona. He good.
Oh yeah, he getting double.
He good. Got that palatial estate.
Salah gonna have a job next year. I mean, not as a head coach, but somebody gonna pick him up as a DC.
He's already been picked up. He's playing.
He's working with the Packers, but as a consultant.
Yeah. head coach, I think defensive head coaches are going to be tough. If you're a defensive coordinator, it's going to be tough to get a head coaching job. They're talking about the DC and Detroit getting a job, and I'm like, wow, the defense this is the first year they've been halfway decent. The rest of the years have been terrible. But they said he's a good coach, not but
well, that depends. Like DeMarco's a good coach, but he got a good OC.
Yes, so the Detroit, they're talking about him leaving. Ben Johnson still don't know because they said he's kind of a quirky kind of guy, and he might not be the best.
And Flores, Flores is a great DC. I don't know if he'll be a
Flores has been good, but the Tua stuff is still going to plague him, and then the fact that he sued a team.
Well, he sued the NFL.
He sued the NFL, so yeah, the fact that he's in the league is a win. I don't think an owner's ever going to get him. They're going to blackball him just because they want to send a message that you can't do that. Right. And so almost like the Colin Kaepernick thing. Kaepernick could still play. He didn't do anything wrong, but they got to send a message. So I think they're going to send a message with Flores. But they're going to give him a job because he's a great coach.
No, he's a great coach. If nothing else, he's a great
He's not going to be a head coach anymore. I think Aaron Glenn will get a shot, and that's a defensive head coach. I think you're going to get a couple of offense coordinators. Ben Johnson, if he wants to head coach.
If he wants. It depends. He's going to be selective where he goes if he leaves.
The OC in Houston was going to get a look, but I think he might stay after this year because I think they want to try to run it back because they've had a lot of injuries this year, and they want to try to run that back while he still has that rookie. While he still has a rookie quarterback on a rookie contract. But they said there's a lot of talk about him. We'll see what's happening in the Giants. They're poorly run team.
Are they going to fire the coach? Which is not his fault.
I wouldn't blame Dayball. I think Dayball is a great coach, and I think if they do fire him, somebody will scoop him. He won't be out of a job less than a day. The Giants will fire him. He'll be hired the next day by a team that needs offensive coordinator. I think he's that good.
The Jets need an offensive coordinator.
The Jets do.
They need a whole lot, though. You think Rodgers needs to retire?
Yes.
You think he's going to? No.
No.
I don't think somebody's
going to give him another $20-30 million to come stink up the joint. But I
think Rodgers would be okay if he actually didn't try to run things and listen to people and actually open his mind up to a different scheme.
Name a 40-year-old ex MVP narcissist quarterback.
I'm just saying, obviously what he's working with is not working. I'm just saying, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting it to work.
Rodgers is done. Somebody might fool another owner into giving him some money, or I don't think he wants to go to another place. But
Jets, I don't think they want to keep him. I don't think they are. I think he's going somewhere else. But
I think he meshes with Woody Johnson personally, politically, and Woody Johnson would bring him back.
But I think they're going to suck again because Aaron Rodgers don't need to run the team. We see what him running the team, the results.
And that's what they would have to do is they'd have to say, look, we're taking our team back. So the players that you made us bring in that didn't do anything, they got to go.
The offensive coordinator, which is already basically gone.
He's already been promoted. He's got to go. And I don't think Rodgers will go.
They need to change up his play scheme too. I mean, he can't just sit in the pocket with the bad offensive line and expect to win.
No motions, things of that nature, and it's like he doesn't want to adapt to the newer schemes. So I'm like, Aaron, Aaron wants to be comfortable, and
he needs an offensive line if he wants to be comfortable.
He's earned the right to be comfortable, but that doesn't mean we have to hire you and make you comfortable. Right. And so that's why I'm like,
well, I think I say comfortable, like he need to be coming in the pocket. The rest of the stuff, whatever. He need an offensive line. But the rest of the stuff, he don't need to be running stuff.
The offensive line is fairly decent, but the play calls, those receivers aren't the way their route schemes and stuff like that, they're not getting open. They're not getting any separation. And so when the line breaks down, like you can't be holding the ball 3, 4, 5 seconds like you used to. Because you can't move. He used to be able to slide here, slide there, play.
If he had Detroit's line, he would be better. He wouldn't be Detroit, but he would be better.
He would be better, but he would have to run the plays that Detroit calls, because Detroit runs a lot of motion, crosses,
Oh,
things
I
of
know. I
that
just
nature
saying he
that he
needs to
don't want to
change
do.
his scheme. He needs to be open, and I don't think Aaron is at the point where he's open. I think he would be. I think he would be good if he was open to change, but I don't know if that's going to happen
And that's not good.
because I think he has enough left in him to be good
You talking about a man
in an
that you
updated
talking about a
scheme.
man that cut off his family because he felt slighted.
Well, I'm not
No.
saying it. I'm just saying if.
There's a lot of ifs.
I'm just
I'm
saying
sorry.
if he would be good. Other than that, he needs to retire. But he's not.
No,
I don't think
I don't think he would even be good in that scenario. I think he lost his fastball, and that is his. He hasn't been as precise with his throws,
oh, he
and
hadn't.
that
I'm
used
just
to
saying
be
he
his
would
thing.
be decent. He wouldn't be the old Rodgers, but he would be better than the Jets
Why
were
would you spend that kind of money on a 40-year-old quarterback? That's
because people think that they can. They're smarter
I
than.
need MVP Aaron Rodgers,
But
not
MVP Aaron
70%.
Rodgers is no longer, I don't think, alive.
Anthony Richardson was benched, and he made Aaron Rodgers look bad yesterday.
I'm just saying, I agree with
He's
you,
more dynamic,
but my
and
point
that's
is
my barometer. It's not the you could
he
squint and make
might
it.
could, but
No,
he's not going to listen and if he changes this and that, he might be good, but he's not going to. So I think he needs to sit down. But I don't think his ego is going to let him sit down until he has to sit down.
the game has passed him by, and that's really.
I agree, but I don't. I think his ego and someone think they can take him and win, which they're gonna be like the Jets, thinking they know more than other people. You know how some people.
There's a few owners that are dumb enough to
You know
to
what I'm
do
saying?
it.
Some people who think they
Yeah.
like
The Raiders owner,
the
the
Panthers
the
owner,
Giants owner,
the Panthers
the
owner.
Panthers owner. There's some owners that are dumb enough to do it. Uh, if the guy that used to own the Cardinals, if he was still in place, he would be dumb enough to do it. I think the guy in Miami, the owner in Miami, is dumb enough to do it, but he's got Tua, so you don't have to
Got to, yeah,
you don't have to make that decision. But there's some owners that are dumb enough to do it,
yeah.
and that's really what it is. It's like hiring Aaron Rodgers is a losing proposition right now, and that is the reality of his life, and that doesn't take anything away from his career.
I
He's
agree, but I just don't think he's gonna sit down until
he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. I give him all the respect for his career, but his career is done.
I agree, but I don't think he's gonna sit down. Somebody gonna pick him up. He gonna play.
No. Look. If I knew if I was done, somebody's still gonna pay me $25 to $30 million. I'm gonna take it, and then he's gonna do what he does every Tuesday. He's gonna blame everybody else but himself as to why they're playing poor.
I agree. That's Aaron Rodgers, though. He is who he is.
So, would you want that in your locker room?
No.
I don't care how good he could throw the ball.
No. The Packers are just like happy we got love when we got rid of this. And people didn't really. I didn't know he was that crazy.
They need to be playing. What's your boy name? Nate Dogg. Every time. I got love for. But every time I would troll Aaron
The Browns would be crazy enough to try.
Oh yeah, the Browns, they're dumb enough. They're dumb enough. The Colts was dumb enough to do it too.
They need to see what they got with Richardson. I think Richardson might be good one day. Maybe.
I think if he played like he played yesterday,
if he doesn't get hurt.
But yeah, he's a bit more fragile than you would think with his size. He wouldn't be that fragile, but he's a bit more fragile. But yesterday, I'm not even talking about the runs. I'm talking about the way he threw the ball yesterday. That was a professional quarterback. And if he can continue to do that and ascend, then they've got a good shot because he's got all the tools.
Yeah, and his coach is good. He's good at developing.
And the coach is good. So if they can keep him
to the Super Bowl,
he's just not accurate enough. And yesterday he was throwing the ball with timing and precision. If he can do that consistently, and then he mix in a run or two. But I think they got the formula. Let him run early, let him get the juices flowing in the game, and then he's got to settle into the game. I used to do that with my son when he played football. He wasn't very big, but he was very fast. But he would check out. If you didn't get him involved in the game, he would kind of check out mentally, especially when they were younger. So I was running defense, and I would just go to the OC. I said, just give him a little taste early in the game. Run him a reverse jet sweep, something like that. Let him get a little taste, and then you won't. He'll be engaged the whole game. And that's how it worked. Then run him a jet sweep, he run around and score touchdown. You never have to worry about it. You didn't have to get him as many touches. Because he felt like, okay, he got a
I
touchdown,
mean, yeah.
man. But if you stand on the sideline, you can't get in the game. And when you get in the game, you're not getting the ball. When they're younger, they can't
Check
deal
out.
with that. They can't deal with that mentally. So you see it happens in the pros. They check out. And so you got to get him in the game. And I think Shane Steichen is kind of figuring out how to play him. And then sitting him down was probably it was a bad look, embarrassing for him. But they said the way he's handled it behind the scenes has been really, really
Well,
good.
I think he needed something for tapping out.
I was like, when he tapped somebody, like, did he just do that? Like they're like,
he was tired. See, that was a very bad look.
Yeah, and he just needed to get a little kick in the pants.
I'm just like,
But you got to think about it like this, though. He was a man in high school. He barely played in Florida. Everybody was telling how great he was, and then he got a reality check.
Feeling himself.
He got a reality check, and I'm glad he handled it professionally. And
yeah, I want the young man to do well.
And that could be the turning point of his career. Is that you never know what the turning point of somebody's career could be, and that could be it. So yeah. All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all. And thank y'all for hanging out with us, even with the technical difficulties we were having earlier with that bad echo. So, it is what it is. It happens. It's streaming. It's not perfect. So we'll see y'all in 2 weeks, and we'll definitely know more.
We'll have some more college football, a couple more NFL. I don't know what's the good games on this weekend. We played the Rams, but I don't know what the other little good games are on this weekend.
Well, look, I know the Falcons won't lose this week because we're playing bye. So we won't lose again this week. So I'll be happy. All right, y'all.
All right.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, we'll be after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.